Hi everybody, in this video we are going to discuss about the chemical coordination and integration. Chemical coordination and integration, and under this we are going to discuss about two different types of glands called as the pineal gland and parathyroid gland. Pineal gland and parathyroid gland. Now here if you are looking at the pineal gland is present on the dorsal side of the forebrain. Now we already know where is the pituitary gland. So suppose if we are just imagining that this is the brain, okay, this is the brain. Now here this region we call it as the hypothalamus region, okay, this region we can call this as the hypothalamus region, and just the dorsal side of this forebrain, okay, of the forebrain. So this is the forebrain now. So in this forebrain towards the dorsal side here we are seeing what now? The pineal gland. So pineal gland is present towards the dorsal side of the forebrain, towards this dorsal side of the forebrain. And what is the hormone that is produced by this particular pineal gland? Hormone known as melatonin. Melatonin hormone we call it as, okay, melatonin hormone is produced from the pineal gland. Okay, melatonin is the hormone that is produced from the pineal gland. Now what are the functions of this particular hormone that is produced by the pineal gland? It regulates the 24-hour cycle, diurnal we are saying, okay, which means day and night, okay, day and night we are saying. Means what? Regulation of 24-hour cycle means it is also called as biological cycle, okay, biological cycle means the rhythm of our body, okay, the rhythm of our body, sleep wake cycle we say, okay, sleep wake cycle means the daytime and the night time. As this particular hormone, you know, as the day passes by, when it is evening time, during the evening time it is said that this particular hormone decreases in amount produced, okay, it will be produced in very less quantity, and it leads us to what now? To sleep. And in the same way, if it is now produced in more quantity, it is during the daytime we say, okay, it is produced more during the daytime. It keeps us awake, but during the evening time slowly the amount will be decreasing and it leads to sleep. So here that's why we call this as what? Regulation of 24-hour cycle, regulation of 24 cycle of our rhythm of our body, okay, rhythm of our body. That's why biological cycle, we also say it as biological cycle, daytime and nighttime, okay. This is what is the simple meaning. Now here if you are seeing the major, okay, functions of this particular melatonin hormone, it maintains normal rhythm of sleep wake cycle. It maintains normal rhythm of our sleep wake cycle. When are we awake? When if we are awake means what? We are awake because the amount of this melatonin is produced in more quantities. So remember, during the daytime this melatonin will be produced in more quantities, and during the evening time or night time as the sun sets, okay, the amount of this melatonin will be decreasing and we feel sleepy, we feel like going for sleep. So that's why it is called as what? Maintains normal rhythm of sleep wake cycle, okay, sleep wake cycle. Not only this, it also helps in maintaining body temperature. So we already discussed about the other hormones also. Please remember that they are also involved in maintaining the body temperature. So it is also one of them is now the melatonin hormone, which also plays an important role in what? Maintaining the body temperature. And this is also a hormone which influences metabolism, So we have to remember, again we came across this also in the previous hormones, okay, metabolism. So everything is very clear here that these hormones that are produced, okay, they are jointly bringing up some functions in the body. They are jointly bringing up some important functions in the body. So one of them is the melatonin hormone that is produced from the pineal gland, which is influencing the metabolism. And this particular hormone which also helps in, okay, in some animals which also helps in pigmentation of the skin, So pigmentation of the skin is also now brought by what now? The melatonin hormone. More the melatonin hormone is produced in a particular individual, in a particular animal, the skin color will be dark. The less the amount is produced, the skin color will be light in color. This is the point we have to remember regarding the melatonin hormone. So that's why we say that it helps in pigmentation of the skin. Pigmentation of the skin in some animals we say. At the same time, if it is in the females, it also helps in what? Maintaining the menstrual cycle. Maintaining the menstrual cycle. So here, again you have to remember the point that there are some hormones which specifically which helps in maintaining the menstrual cycle, which we are going to study in the later videos. But you know those hormones like estrogen and progesterone. Okay, they are very important we say in maintaining the menstrual cycle also. But here along with those, here melatonin is also helping in what? Maintaining the menstrual cycle. Maintaining the menstrual cycle. And the most and very interesting point regarding the melatonin is it is also helping in defense capability. Defense capability means what? Defense capability means it helps in resisting against the disease causing microbes. It protects the body from pathogens. Pathogens means disease causing microbes. So it is also protecting us from various different types of microorganisms so that they may not enter inside into the body and cause diseases. So that is another point we have to remember regarding the melatonin. But most of the times this melatonin is highlighted as the hormone which is helps in regulating the sleep-wake cycle. Okay, sleep-wake cycle. Okay, biological clock we say. Okay, biological clock we say. So here these are some of the important points that we have to keep in mind when we are talking about the pineal gland. Okay, pineal gland. Now let us look at the another gland called as parathyroid gland. Okay, called as parathyroid gland. This parathyroid gland is now present in 4 in number. They are as small lobules or lobes. They are present in 4 in number. Now the point is, where are they present? Now if you are looking at the location or where they are present on the back side of the thyroid gland. Back side of the thyroid gland. And you know where is the thyroid gland? Now when we say that, when we talk about the thyroid gland, we say that the thyroid gland is present on the neck region, on the trachea. On the neck region, on the trachea. So let us remember now, let us say that we are looking at the dorsal side, back side of the dorsal side means now, sorry, here if you are looking at this, now here this is the these are the thyroid gland. We are saying the thyroid gland. Now back side of the thyroid gland, back side of the thyroid gland, ventral side. Now if these are the 2 lobes of the thyroid gland, now in these 2 lobes there are now this 1, 2. There are 2 in each lobe we are saying. Back side of the thyroid gland, 2 in each lobe. 2 in each lobe. What are those 2 in each lobe? Parathyroid gland. So here are those 2 parathyroid glands. This is what now? Let us remember that this is the thyroid gland. This is the thyroid gland. This is the thyroid gland. And within the thyroid gland, there are now parathyroid glands, 2 in each lobe of the thyroid gland. So here let us remember that these 2 or all these, all these are what now? They are called as the parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland. So how many are there here now? 2 in each lobe we say. 2 in each lobe. So location if you are saying on the back side of the thyroid gland, towards the ventral side, back side of the thyroid gland, 2 in each lobe they are present. 2 in each lobe. So total how many parathyroid glands are there? 4 in number we are saying. There are 4 but 2 in each lobe of the thyroid gland. So that's why it is called as what? Parathyroid gland we are calling it as. Parathyroid gland. Now what are the hormones that are produced from this parathyroid gland? Situated, present within the thyroid gland. Hormone that is produced is parathyroid hormone. We are saying this as parathyroid hormone. In short, we are calling it as PTH. PTH. But please remember, there are other names also for this parathyroid hormone. You may be seeing it as parathormone. Parathormone. It is also called as parathormone. Please remember this. Parathormone. This is also called as the parathormone. This is another name for what? The parathyroid hormone. Or otherwise, there is another name for this particular hormone called as Collins hormone. Okay, please remember this word also. This parathyroid hormone is also called as Collins hormone. Please remember this also. Okay, Collins hormone. Okay, these are the other names. In simple, we are calling the hormone produced by the parathyroid gland as parathyroid hormone, PTH. But otherwise, we are calling it as what? Parathormone. Okay, parathormone, parathyroid hormone. Same. But apart from these two, parathyroid hormone is also called as Collins hormone. Okay, Collins hormone. Please remember this. And what is the function of this parathyroid hormone, Collins hormone? It is regulated by the levels of calcium ions. Means what? We are looking at the functions now. Okay, but when this particular hormone is produced is the point. In which conditions, at which situations this particular hormone will be produced in our body. Please remember that this particular hormone, Collins hormone, produced by the parathyroid gland, will be produced only when the levels of what? Calcium it is regulated by the levels of calcium ions. Means what? When the calcium ions are now decreasing, okay, it is in such cases it is produced. Okay, it is produced. So here, what is the function? It increases the calcium levels in the blood. Okay, it increases the calcium levels in the blood. So whenever the calcium levels are decreasing in our blood, whenever the calcium levels are decreasing in the blood, it is this hormone, Collins hormone, now increases what now? The calcium levels. Please remember this. It increases the calcium levels. Now you may be getting one point here. In the previous video, we came across one hormone called as calcitonin, thyrocalcitonin we called it as, or otherwise we said as, it is also called as calcitonin. This calcitonin, okay, which we studied under the thyroid gland, is now will be decreasing what now? The amount of calcium that is there produced or present in the blood. But this hormone, please remember, don't get confused. Okay, this hormone is increasing. Okay, it is increasing what? The calcium levels in the blood. So whenever the calcium levels are falling, it is in such cases the Collins hormone is produced from the parathyroid gland. That's why we say that it is regulated by the levels of calcium ions. If the calcium ions are decreasing, immediately Collins hormone is released and it increases what? The calcium levels in the blood. Okay, calcium levels in the blood, because calcium is very, very important mineral that should be there circulated in the blood and which is involved in various functions, and that's why it is very important we say here. Okay, now the second one is it acts on bones. How is it increasing the calcium levels in the body? Now this particular hormone called as what? Collins hormone, parathormone or parathyroid hormone, to increase the calcium levels in the body, now it goes and acts on what? Our bones. And as we all know that calcium is very important for the formation of bones, for strong bones. So bones are rich in containing what? Calcium. Now whenever the calcium levels are decreasing, okay, whenever the calcium levels are decreasing in our blood, which is also important for other functions, immediately Collins hormone is released, and this Collins hormone acts on bones and stimulates the resorption, or means what? Dissolution or demineralization or dissolution. What do you mean by this? It helps in the removing, or it is demineralizing, okay, collecting that, helping, stimulating the bones to release the calcium ions, stimulating the bones to release the calcium ions. Okay, so calcium ions are released now from the bones, and that calcium will be entering into the blood and again increases the concentration of calcium in the blood. But here we have to remember that Collins hormone is acting on the bones, stimulating the bones to release the calcium. That we are calling it as what? Demineralization or dissolution, we are calling it as demineralization or dissolution. Please remember that. Okay, so here it is in this way, it is increasing what now? Calcium levels in the blood. And the third one is this particular Collins hormone produced from parathyroid gland. It also reabsorbs the calcium from the renal tubules of the kidney. And if there is excess of calcium that is present in our body, okay, or in the blood, now what happens is all that calcium will be now eliminated through the excretory system, means through the urine. Through the urine, calcium will be removed. So through the urine means what? This calcium should pass through what? Through the kidneys. So through the kidneys, when the calcium is released outside in the form of urine, in that particular area, okay, when the calcium is present in the kidneys, and immediately at the same time, if the calcium is required by the body, now the messages will be sent to the kidneys to reabsorb the calcium and circulate back or send it back into the bloodstream. That is brought by the Collins hormone. So Collins hormone will be stimulating or acting upon the renal tubules of the kidney to absorb the calcium that is now excess, or once it is excess, are trying to get eliminated, but suddenly it is in need, so that's why it is trying to absorb it back. So that is another point we have to remember. And not only from the excretory system or from the kidneys of the renal tubules, okay, renal tubules that are present in the kidneys, this calcium is also absorbed from the digested food, okay, from the digested food, means from the digestive system also this particular calcium will be reabsorbed, okay, will be reabsorbed. By which hormone? Means it is by the Collins hormone. Otherwise we are calling it as parathyroid. Otherwise we are calling it in simple way called as parathyroid hormone. Short form PTH we are saying it as. Okay. So in overall, if you are clearly observing here, this particular hormone, Collins hormone, is increasing the calcium levels. It is increasing the calcium levels inside our body or inside the blood. So that's why this particular hormone, okay, please remember, this particular hormone is also, okay, known as hypercalcemic hormone. Okay, it is also known as hypercalcemic hormone because it is increasing what? It is increasing what? The calcium levels. Okay, it is increasing the calcium levels. So that's why we are calling it as what? Hypercalcemic hormone. Hypercalcemic hormone. Please remember this. It's very important. Okay, hypercalcemic hormone, and this hormone is functioning against what? Against another hormone called as what? Calcitonin. Okay, there is another hormone which we studied. Okay, called as what? Calcitonin. Okay, calcitonin will decrease what? The amount of calcitonin will be decreasing the amount of the calcium in the blood. But here Collins hormone is increasing the calcium in our blood. So in this way, these two hormones, calcitonin, otherwise called as what? Hypercalcitonin, produced by the thyroid gland, and the Collins hormone, both are balancing the amount of calcium in the blood. One is not allowing to increase the calcium levels in the blood. Which is that hormone which do not allow the increase of calcium levels in the blood? It is calcitonin. Which hormone will not allow the decrease of calcium levels in the blood? It is Collins hormone. So these two hormones are balancing the calcium levels in the blood. So these are the points that we should keep in mind when we are discussing about the parathyroid gland. And now the next one we are going to discuss is about the thymus gland. Now thymus gland is another gland that is present in the endocrine system, and this is located as a lobular structure, just like lobules. It is present between the lungs. Okay, it is present between the lungs, just behind the sternum, and we know the flat bone that is present at the center of our thoracic cavity. Okay, thoracic cavity where the ribs will come and join is the sternum, flat bone we say. Just behind that we are seeing what now? The thymus gland, just behind the sternum, on the ventral side, okay, of the aorta. Okay, on the ventral side of aorta. Okay, on the ventral side of the aorta we are seeing this particular gland. Okay, on the ventral side. Okay, on the back side of the aorta. Aorta is like a great blood vessel that is arising from what? From the left ventricle. So from behind the from behind the aorta, okay, what is present? The thymus gland is present. So here this is the location which is given in very clear way. It is like lobular structure. okay, between the lungs, okay, behind the sternum, between the lungs, behind the sternum, on the ventral side of the aorta. On the ventral side of the aorta, the thymus gland is present as lobules, So it is a lobular structure, we are calling it. Now, the major role that it performs, is it helps in development of the immune system. So we know that we have one particular system apart from nervous system or digestive system, excretory system, circulatory system. From all these systems, there is one major important system in our body, that is we are calling it as what? Immune system. We are calling it as the immune system. Immune system will help in protecting the body from pathogens, disease causing microbes. Any harmful substance, if it is entering into our body, it is this system which will neutralize, detoxify, destroy it and protect the body from those substances or microbes which are trying to harm our body. Okay, so in that development of the immune system, thymus gland will be playing a crucial role, a very important role played by the thymus gland in development of the immune system. Okay, immune system which is protecting our body from various disease causing microbes or chemical substances that will try to harm our body and alter the normal functionings of the body. So it is the immune system which is protecting, and for it to function normally, thymus gland is very